In this episode of Tall Takes, we review The Nice Guys, 2016's most based film that no one remembers. For some reason, don't know why. It's kind of depressing. It's like another Master and Commander episode all over again. Like, why you make movies?
Matt,
Go ahead.
I didn't even know it existed until you introduced it to me.
Yeah, I don't know how much money it made at the box office, but it completely and utterly died. And maybe if I get rambunctious, I'll get some numbers on the screen now. Probably won't happen, but yeah, we just watched this. You had never heard
I'm
of it.
feeling frisky.
Before we get too deep into it, one, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, hit it with those comments down below. Really, really appreciate it. Trying to grow this channel up. And nice. And second, spoiler warning. If you don't want to get spoiled, go to the time on screen now. And yeah. Spoiler, just to get the recommendation, whether you should watch it or not. But what is
nice?
It's nice. It's a good time. So give me your, since you hadn't heard of it or anything, give us your first impressions, King.
Well, my first impressions were I was intrigued because I had Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling in it, and I'm a big Russell Crowe fan. Ryan Gosling's saying it can go either way, but Russell Crowe, base king. It also had like the grungy 70s vibe, like the cover art just kind of gives you that, like, some stuff's gonna go down. You're gonna see some things because Russell Crowe's making a fist and he has a shotgun.
And he's using proper finger protocol. He's not fingering his trigger. It's properly not on his trigger, which is, that's a good thing.
Also, his fist is properly
fisted.
Correct. Yeah.
Proper fist.
He's not trying to break his own thumb. He's ready to actually break skulls.
He's like going. Yeah, when I first heard of the movie, I'm like, bro, it's got Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling on it. Ryan Gosling, apparently he can't speak English.
Gosling.
Apparently, two of my favorite male actors of all time, and I don't generally like actors or acting in general.
I don't normally like males.
I don't. Go back and forth. I don't really generally care about the actors in a film, but you had this duo. This is perfect. Like, I don't think they've ever acted in anything else together. And it was a magnificent setup. Glorious.
It was a good journey.
It was, yes. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What did you think of the story? Was it as complicated or not as complicated, silly? What did you think about the story?
I mean, the story had an adequate amount of twists and turns that kept you wondering what's going to go on. Especially with the main girl, Amelia's mom, being like the prostitute. What was she? Chief Justice or something?
Head of the Justice Department, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? And then they're like, oh, this person died, this person. You're like, oh, this mom totally had these people killed. And then she's like, no, I didn't. I'm a nice lady.
Detroit had them killed.
Detroit killed. Yeah, that was another thing I really enjoyed. The referencing of Detroit and the automotive industry was really funny.
And also, like, I love that part. Is that I'll go to Michigan. Michigan works.
Michigan works, yes.
Michigan works. I just thought that was super funny as being from Michigan. And yeah, that was really funny. Yeah, I really liked the story. I can't really fault it for anything. Like, I can't think of anything where I'm like, oh, this went on for too long. I think maybe they could have cleared up at the end a little bit more about, like, who killed who, because, like, they never really say who killed Stipnick. But I also don't really care, and it doesn't really take anything away. It's mainly like a little petty critique.
Yeah, I think it's implied that he's just offed by the Justice Department or whatever, because Dean's also killed in a fire that they don't know who did it.
Yeah, I was
Blueface and the one black guy. I don't remember what they named him.
Black Man 1. Yeah, I can't remember.
Black Man. Black Man number 1.
Yeah, I can't.
In the red suit.
In the red suit. Oh yeah, I can't remember his name at all. I mean, like, Blueface Man gets sent to the Shadow Realm by a Ford Astro or something.
And then they're like, the one we hit a bye.
Oh my god, just leaves, yeah. Which is super funny.
That was super funny, yeah. Funny unison point.
Yeah, that was... Okay. kind of connected, but not really. The one thing I didn't like how the Ryan Gosling's daughter character was like, "You can't kill that man" at the end of the movie. I'm like, bro, no,
Dude.
you
I'm like, this is a horrible dude. He deserves to die. Kill him.
sent him to the Shadow Realm.
Choke him out. And then he won that brawl and gunfight. It was based.
But then, yeah, you could have thrown him off and killed him with a Cadillac. You could have done something.
Cadillac.
Yeah, the last little bit of the film where March is like, "I'm invincible, I can't die."
It was so funny.
That was, oh my god.
I think I'm invincible.
But I drink.
Falls.
Yeah.
And yes, alcohol and pinky promises create immortality.
It's really good to know. I'm gonna try that out really soon. Don't ask on
What are you doing? Getting drunk tonight. You want to make a pinky promise with me?
I'm gonna go jump out of a 5-story building and
It's super fine, bro.
see if I can jump into a pool. You know,
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think the pacing of the movie was done really well. It was never was I looking at the clock being, yo, like how much does it have left, or I'm bored or anything. I was always entertained, and I was always waiting for the next like thing to come around, and it was done well, I feel.
Also, one thing I really enjoyed, and this is gonna sound super morbid, I really disliked, was it Emily? Emily, what the hell, the main girl they're looking for? What was her name again?
Amelia.
Yeah, she was annoying as balls, so I kind of chuckled a little bit when she died, which I know makes me an absolutely horrible person, but her own retardation got her killed, so I'm like, it's funny.
I mean, the way she died was funny because she leaves a place where she's safe and then runs down a random like grassy knoll and then gets JFK'd.
It's JFK. Yeah, came from the grassy knoll. Yeah, it's yeah, I was kind of happy to see her gone. I'm like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, this is one of those movies where both the side, like the Amelia girl, is kind of terrible, and her mom's also like the government side of it's also terrible. So you really have no one to root for. And then these guys are in like the middle, but they're kind of Russell Crowe's kind of redeeming because he's based, and Gosling's kind of not as redeeming because he's kind of a dingus.
But he's like intelligent.
But yeah, he has like talent, but is misguided. And that makes the duo funny.
It's like he has retard strength, but in the brain, but also retard strength in that he's retarded in the brain.
Yeah, he has his plot armor.
He has plot armor? I don't know. I figured he was just the much younger and more alcoholic version of Columbo. That's the way I pictured him throughout the entire film.
Maybe, yeah.
So
I don't know. It was a good time, though.
Yeah, it was a very, very good time. I know we talk about music here, but I unironically don't remember pretty much anything from the sound design or music because I was engaged with the film. So maybe that means
there was some random disco.
I love disco. Oh, that's right. It had the Earth, Wind, and Fire performance.
Yeah.
I didn't remember. And I was like, bro, this is space.
I was like, you'll like that. You'll have to mention that because I knew you liked that.
Yeah,
the soundscape was it fit. I mean, it didn't jump out at you at any point like, oh, God tier, but it was fine.
This music is amazing. Yeah, it was fine. Like I didn't notice it, so that means it was probably good, or at least like
it didn't irritate you.
Yeah, because if it was bad, then you're like, man, this is awful. But yeah. And then like for how it was shot, I can't really. Same thing. Like it wasn't. There was nothing really amazing. Like there was no really spectacular art shots or anything like that. But it didn't need to be that because it wasn't that kind of movie.
Yeah, it has some cool panning and like random like when he fell out of the one party down the hill, like they showed him falling from like the tree line. That was cool. But I mean, it was nothing great, breathtaking.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a beautifully shot film. It was just,
I think
it was adequate.
Two of my favorite scenes in the movie are the one where they show him in the background swimming with the mermaids because he's like, I gotta question the mermaids. That one was pretty fun.
That was super funny, yeah.
And then
every place they go, he just gets hammered.
He's like, free alcohol? Free alcohol? Oh, okay. And then
yeah, he's kind of like the autistic brain, and Crow is the muscle.
That's a very good. Yeah, that's a very good comparison. It's like Pinky and the Brain.
Oh my word! Yes, that's a really good. Yes,
Only it's not exactly like Pinky and the Brain. It's like if Pinky was also Brain and Brain was also Pinky.
that's pretty funny. I like
Yeah.
that.
The my other favorite shot in the film, I think, is at when Gosling's character falls from the skyscraper thing, and the guy falls with
Yes,
him, and he falls into the pool, and then he sees
yes,
Nixon. That was super funny.
yes.
Which
Oh! What about all the random references to Hitler? And they're like, "Yo, you're Hitler," and then they're just because they have like the stash and the people in the like positions of power, and they just kept always hinting towards it. Did they ever show a picture of Hitler?
no,
I
they
think they.
never did. They showed a picture of Nixon, which I thought was funny. It was like shadowing.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and in the beginning of the movie, when Russell Crowe's character goes back to Ryan Gosling in the bowling alley, and the guy's like confronting him in the bathroom stall, he uses a
Hmm.
picture of the life cover of Nixon as the thing to cover up his dick,
That's
which is
right.
freaking
That's the
hilarious.
thing.
I'm covering up my dick with dick.
Dickception.
Exception. There was something else. Oh, the scene where Gosling's character falls asleep in the car, and they're having a
Oh my word!
discussion about the
Yes,
ankle gun, and then the bee shows up, and the bee is also
yes.
smoking,
He's high out of his mind.
and then he's well, because okay, not only does it have this movie has a million scenes of him lighting his cigarettes, so it's funny just to have
True.
the bee smoking because it's funny, but then
Comic relief.
But then also at the end of the movie, he goes for Russell Crowe's ankle gun, which doesn't actually exist because he just dreamed he had an ankle gun.
He's just like rubbing his leg as this lady's trying to threatening to kill him.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
Where is it? Where's it? He's like, I don't have that. Did I dream that?
She's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
you dreamed the ankle gun."
Well, and they also tied the bee in at the very, very end of the film when they're at the bar, like talking about how nothing happened to the automotive industry. There's a bee like on the table, and then he like spazzes out.
True. Oh, so what was there was a part in the movie where the guy's like, "You know about killer bees, right? They'll kill you," or something like that.
Yes, that was at the
It was near the beginning. I just couldn't remember where.
yeah, I was near the beginning. I can't remember exactly.
So I started watching this movie again this afternoon. I didn't finish it yet, but at the very 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 beginning of the movie, right after the scene with Misty Mountains dying, and you see Ryan Gosling's character for the first time in his car waiting to get gas. He's shaving. If you remember that scene, and
Mm-hmm.
if you look at his paper that he's holding up for a split second, it says "Local Brazilian man killed by wild killer bee pack."
Oh my word. That's super funny that they have all this tied in. There's little like pockets of that throughout the entire movie, which is funny.
Yeah, there's like a ton of references throughout the entire thing, and it's great. I yeah, it's great.
What are those Easter eggs? It's a bunch of Easter
Yes,
eggs.
it's not necessarily Easter eggs to other films, although I'm sure there's some in here. It's mainly Easter eggs to other things in the movie, which you
Like things of culture.
yeah, like you could have figured out. I realized this that like at the beginning of the movie when the guy goes and talks to the lady about like, oh, I saw my niece or whatever, and she's wearing the pinstriped thing. If you were
Mhm.
paying attention to that and then saw Russell Crowe in the office with the pinstripe suit, which he gets later, which because they show it so quickly that you probably could have put
Yeah.
those two. I didn't realize that until it's the third
Mm.
viewing, So
Yeah, I don't think I picked on about that, but that's cool.
like, oh, would you look at that?
So how'd you think of the acting?
Oh, the acting was very good. The only acting I would say was maybe a little meh, but it's kind of whatever. Is Gosling's daughter? I can't remember her name. Just because child actors are just sort of bad. It's not really against her; they're just sort of bad.
Yeah, she was Holly March.
No, that's. Oh, yeah. She's
But
Australian.
yeah, it was alright. She was kind of I don't understand why she was there, except for you to like she kind of bridged the connection between Gosling and Crow's characters early on.
Yeah,
And that was kind of cool. But apart from that, I'm like, why did you bring your daughter? I guess it's just to show that um Gosling's character is kind of a bad parent or like a screw up as a person because he brings her to like a titty like party, like a porno show, like celebration party.
No, remember, she snuck in the cab. Remember, he didn't bring her there on purpose.
Well, no, but she stayed, and then he like left her alone. He didn't like take her home, and he's always drinking around her, and
True. Yeah, I mean,
he lets her go out in the middle of the night to their old house, and he just does a lot of things that are not the best parenting tactic.
am I a bad parent? Yes.
I guess.
I love that scene so much. Yeah, I can't. I think we've summed everything up. Okay, go ahead.
It is funny. There's throughout the movie, Gosling's characters keeps telling his daughter, because she will do like the little kid thing of like, you're stupid, and something, and like
And stuff.
I forget what and stuff. Yes, and he always tells her like, don't say and stuff. And then while she's at the party for the movie release, the one girl is going on and on about her movie, and she can't stop. She's like, don't say and stuff. Say, I'm a porn actress, and that's it. Don't say and stuff. I mean, it's just hit me, and it was funny.
No, it was
because she's like this little kid correcting this adult.
No, it was worse than that. It was. I forgot about that. It was the porn star's like, yeah, I walked in the office and I saw the Schrodinger doing anal with Misty and stuff. And
that's it. Yes.
Just say doing anal.
It's just awkward coming from like this kid who's supposed to be like 13 or 14 or whatever.
And you're just like, okay. You know what?
But
this movie, in one regard, I know we can use this to transition into the other films this film reminds you of section.
Oh no.
I have a ton of them, so if you can't think of one.
That's good. I don't really have a lot.
Okay. So first on the list in the pedophile sort of section is because I had a friend of mine tell me once, a while ago, that he finds movies made by pedophiles very intriguing because they're just weird. And I don't agree with that, but a movie he recommended in the light of that statement was Leon the Professional, which, if you've seen that, you'll understand what I mean immediately. And I've sort of got some Leon the Professional sexploitation of minor vibes at certain points during this film because of Holly March, because of her character. Now, granted, it was nowhere near as bad as that movie. That movie is kind of awful for that particular reason. So that's my... I'm not sure if I'd even say that's a recommendation, but it reminds me of Leon the Professional in that regard. My actual recommendation is Inherent Vice by... Why am I having a brain moment? I can't remember. It's by the dude. It's by Paul Thomas Anderson's Inherent Vice. A much more serious and less comedic film set in the same time period. I love movies set in the 70s. They're one of my favorite subgenres. And yes, I would highly recommend Inherent Vice. Now, do you have one? If not, I have another one. Do you have one, King?
I really don't have a movie I can think of.
Okay.
The only thing that I could kind of like, it's not even in the same ballpark, but I want to use the Boondock Saints, which I've used before, just because there's two dudes that are doing like funny murder, and funny murder kind of happens around these guys.
Oh, dude, oh my gosh, I'm like going through a list right now, and there's so many other movies. Okay, I could also recommend highly Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by, oh my gosh, the dude. Why can't I have a horrible Quentin Tarantino? The only Quentin Tarantino movie I like adore. Most of his movies are good, like Pulp Fiction and stuff. I enjoy. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I adore. It's a fantastic film. Very reminds me of it. Also set in the 70s, 1969 to be exact. If you want to watch a film that in a lot of ways has a lot of the same energy, though, but just in a much different way, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Terry Gilliam with Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
A lot of the same energy and vibes. I just remembered that. Oh my word! I also really like that movie. Most of our mutual acquaintances do not like that film, which is interesting.
Because they're failures.
Yeah, perhaps.
So, how would you rate The Nice Guys?
I would give it a 4.5. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's pretty nice. I gave it a juicy 4, and I enjoyed it a lot. I really have nothing bad to say about it.
Yes, you should go watch it right now. That's a recommendation.
Go rent it, go buy it, go help the whatever you said, the dismal
Dismal ticket sales.
box office ticket sales were, so we could just buy it after the fact and help them. Because they said there's supposed to be like 3 of these slated, and then they never actually got there.
Yeah, it didn't work out. I wanted to look
Yeah,
up. Go
let's
on.
start a petition to
Bring it
bring the
back.
Nice Guys 2 and 3.
So you can go, if you have Amazon Prime, you can go on Amazon Prime right now and buy a DVD version of this film for $2.40 and have it primed to your house.
They're bringing your house. Oh, no.
if you're not that poor, you can just simply rent it for $3.99. However, I recommend
Not sponsored by Amazon, by the way.
not sponsored by Amazon, but I recommend giving this movie your love. Go buy a Blu-ray if you're one of those kinds of people. And just have a good time with it. It's a very, very good film. You have anything else in closing?
Don't forget to check out Ring Doorbell.
Yes, check out. Yes, check out Ring Doorbell for your sponsor today. Know exactly when you're going to get broken into because you're never home anyway.
Use code TALLTAKES.